How's it going, everybody? It's me. I don't know how many times I've been asked this, and a lot of you guys have probably thought this yourself. Do you know how to use all those knobs? Yes, I do. But you can too. Actually, it's not too difficult, especially when it comes to analog mixers. They are not that overcomplicated. Actually, they're fairly simple. I'm really hoping this video will help quite a few of you to understand the basics of analog mixers. And if you guys have any questions or anything after the video, please let me know or post it down in the chat. I'd really love to hear them. Hopefully this answers some questions for you guys and how it carries over to the bigger boards, and how if you understand the small ones, the bigger ones just give you more functionality. So without further ado, the basics of audio mixers. Analog audio mixers, to be specific. Just want to go over the basics. I'm not going to get into too much advanced stuff. If you learn the principles on one of these, that knowledge can be migrated up to bigger brothers like this. First thing you'll notice is the knobs are color-coded. This is your first clue on how things are broken down. And some mixers like this will have lines on them to give you a little bit more of a visual aid. So I'm going to start from the beginning. From the very input of the mixer and work our way out. This model here, this is a 1202 BLZ. 1202 means it is a 12 channel. Now people are going to be like, well, I only see 4 mic inputs. Yes, but on models like this, and this is an 802, and this is another Mix 8 or 802 as well, you have 4 mic inputs and 4 stereo inputs. In the case of this board, you have mic 1, mic 2, mic 3, mic 4, stereo, left, right, 5 and 6, 7, 8 is another stereo, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you can either input on your mono inputs, XLR, which is your standard 3-pin XLR microphone input, or quarter-inch, which typically you will do your adaptive of quarter-inch to instrument, quarter-inch to RCA. Below that, you have your low cut. Now, a low cut is something you're going to do selectively. Typically, you're going to use this, especially for vocal mics. The reason for that is most voices don't reach below 250 hertz, unless you're Barry White. Most voices, even my voice, as deep as it gets, does not get anywhere near this frequency. Music will have subsonic frequencies, so you will not want to use that. Below that, in case I want to talk to this, because every board has it. You've got them here, you got them here, you got them up here. The knobs and sizes may change, but they're all the same. They call it a trim, and it's also called a gain. This is not a volume knob. I will repeat that. The gain or trim knob is not a volume knob. The gain knob is to increase or decrease the voltage going out to your source. Microphones require voltage. So this is how you increase or decrease the voltage depending on how sensitive you need to make the microphone. This is adjusted to where you need the microphone to be. Your volume adjustment is here. This is to adjust the sensitivity of the microphone. Overdo it and you'll start hearing bad static and distortion. Beyond that, we will get to the auxiliary bus, and all these mixers have them. Sometimes they move them around. The Mackie 1202 has 2 of them. This one has an FX bus, which is essentially the same thing. Mackie is a little bit different. It gives you 2 auxiliaries. Since you move up to a board, you get a little bit more features. You get 2 auxiliaries. Now, unlike this board, where if you notice, the auxiliary is labeled as, actually they didn't label it, but I believe in the instructions, this is pre-fader. And you will notice that on many boards, you will have a pre-fader and post-fader selection. And what that does is that allows the auxiliary output bus to be either pre-fader, which is your main fader here, your channel fader, or post-fader, which you adjust your level here, but if you turn down your fader as you're mixing through live, it will affect your auxiliary bus. Some boards like this, as you notice, the Behringer does not have an auxiliary output main. It just, whatever you adjust here, goes out. This Mackie Mix 8 has an auxiliary master. When you get up on the big boy here, I actually have 4 auxiliaries. It's actually considered a 5 and 6, but you have 4 auxiliaries. 2 of those have masters, 2 of them do not. Like I said, bigger board, more features. Now you have your EQ section. Low end to mid-range boards will have a 3-band or 3 EQ knobs. A high frequency, a mid frequency, and a low frequency. They may vary a little bit, but typically they're pretty standard, especially when you have the 3 EQ. When you get up to the bigger boys like this, if you notice, I have 4 blue knobs, but there's still only 3 frequencies. This board gives me 1 extra feature, which is why this is a little bit more expensive. This one gives you on the mid frequency what we call a sweepable. And what a sweepable frequency is, or a sweepable mid, is you have your plus and minus 15 dB adjustment knob here, but down below, or sometimes I put it up, or sometimes it's a combo knob, the mid frequency is adjustable. So if there's a frequency that is starting to ring or something, you can actually dial it in a little bit better. You don't get that in these, but you do get that on when you get up into the bigger boards. If you get into digital boards, all your frequencies are sweepable or adjustable. Moving on from the EQ section, you get into the pan. And essentially a pan is what it is. You're panning left or right. Below that is another function on this board, if you notice on the lower boards, you do not get. You do get on these, and that is a mute function, which is really good if you have your volume levels all set. You can just mute a channel. On the lower end boards, you do not get that function. If you need to mute a board, you have to adjust your level. Now, moving on from the mute, there's another function that this board, which is a mid-range board, it's a little bit more higher end board, has that these do not have. Pre-fader solo. Sometimes they're just labeled as solo. You will hear only this channel in your headphones. You want to listen to just that microphone, just to maybe do some little fine dialing. Maybe you want to make sure that that mic is the one that you're having some issues with, or someone's not, you're hearing some background noise from a mic. You can listen, okay, it is that microphone, let me mute that. Moving on to there, you have what is referred to as the fader, or this is what they call a fader pot, because it's using a potentiometer. On your bigger board, you actually get a fader. So this is your adjustment to each individual microphones. You are now outputting out. On this board, and on these boards as well, all of them have 2 output adjustments, typically down here at the bottom. This board has a little bit more. But with this board, and this one, and this one, and this one, you have control room headphones. So effectively, this is your headphones output volume control, and your main mix, which is actually following your main output. These are your LED meters, so this tells you how much you are outputting. Beyond that, you'll get a lot of other various outputs, inputs, controls. If you look at this board and notice how things are colored and understand it, you will see that what you know on this board will carry over to this one, and even carries over to this one. Just when you get more knobs, you're getting more functionality. These are really basic, really simple, and to understand them, it does not take a whole lot of knowledge, and a lot of it's just getting comfortable with it and playing with it. So I hope this really helped out some people. Leave any comments or posts, and if I missed anything, hey, hit me up on it. I'll be happy to say that I missed something. So stay tuned for the next one. If you like this, please like and subscribe, and if you didn't, tell me what I did wrong. So thanks again for watching, guys. Take it easy.